Imagine you are strolling down the street, earbuds in, grocery bags in both hands, and suddenly, snap. One bag rips and groceries scatter like confetti at a wedding. Do you help? Or do you pretend you are late for something extremely important like a Zoom meeting in your own hallway? That 50-50 moment lies at the heart of our ethical question. What do we owe to people we don't know? From helping someone on the sidewalk to donating during disasters, these acts of kindness raise a big question. What moral obligation do we have to strangers? Plus, science tells us there's a payoff, even if it's just a feel-good glow. Altruism. It feels good to give. Recent brain imaging studies confirm what your gut probably guessed. Helping others literally activates reward systems in the brain, often more than treating yourself to dessert or your favorite song. University of California scholars found that acts of generosity can stimulate the same reward pathways as chocolate or Beyoncé, and sometimes even exceed them in intensity. Turns out the so-called warm glow is real, and it's scientifically backed. Beyond that initial dopamine hit, volunteering has been linked to health gains, lower blood pressure, reduced stress, lower rates of depression, and even reduced mortality risk, according to the Wisconsin longitudinal study and recent Guardian analysis. So helping a stranger might do more than just lift their burdens, it could fortify your heart, literally. Doing good, feeling great. We have established that helping lifts our mood, but is that a coincidence or causation? Turns out it's both. A massive body of research, including the World Happiness Report, suggests a bidirectional link. People who help others report greater happiness, and happier people are more inclined to help. It's not just about random acts, it's about a lifestyle. Berkeley's Greater Good recently reported that acts of caring improve resilience, build community strengths that help us withstand collective crises, like the COVID-19 pandemic. So the next time you pause to let someone merge into traffic or drop a few dollars into that charity bowl, you are not only brightening their day, you're boosting your own happiness and resilience. The culture of who's worth helping. Altruism is not one size fits all, it's got a cultural twist. In collectivist places like Southeast Asia or Latin America, helping others is just part of being in the group. You don't get brownie points, you're just doing your job. Bonnie Chen expects it. In Western individualistic cultures, helping feels more like a personal side quest, look at me, becoming a better person. You get bonus karma points and maybe even a humble brag. One study found 93% of people in Rio helped pick up dropped items, while only 40% did in Kuala Lumpur. Apparently, Rio runs on good vibes. Kuala Lumpur on someone else will get it. In some cultures, helping is duty. In others, it's a chance to feel awesome. Either way, someone's groceries get picked up. The do-gooder derogation and why it's a thing. Ever seen someone donate a giant check on live TV and thought, ugh, show off? You are not alone. Research has coined the term do-gooder derogation, the social backlash against overly virtuous people. Especially in collectivist cultures, being too generous can trigger resentment. One study noted that participants from Western nations were more likely to punish moral exemplars, possibly due to fear of moral inferiority or feeling judged. So what's it would be altruist to do? Authenticity is key. Helping isn't about public recognition, it's about genuine connection. When your generosity speaks from the heart, not for likes and shares, it's more likely to hit home without triggering that envious backlash. The bystander effect. Spread too thin. The classic case of Kitty Genovese in 1964 coined the so-called bystander effect when multiple witnesses lessen the likelihood anyone will act. But newer analyses throw a curveball. Real-world video review shows over 90% of bystanders do intervene in public emergencies. So the bystander effect exists, but it might not be nearly as pervasive as dramatic anecdotes suggest. That said, factors like ambiguity, group size, fear, or assuming someone else will act can still freeze people. The remedies: one-on-one appeal. Eddie, you in the red shirt, call 911, can break the diffusion of responsibility. When you single someone out, suddenly it stops being a group issue, it becomes your issue. What do we owe, really? So what do we owe a stranger, whether it's someone who's dropped their groceries or a neighbor across the globe in crisis? Philosophers offer options. Utilitarianism says we're morally required to help by maximizing well-being and reducing suffering. Kantian ethics says we help out of duty because it's simply the right thing to do. And virtue ethics, following Aristotle, encourages us to cultivate kindness so helping becomes second nature. Many religions agree. Sikhism promotes seva, selfless service. Islam requires zakat and encourages sadaqah, voluntary giving. while Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism emphasize donation, dana, service, and compassion as core virtues. Why some of us hesitate. Even with strong moral traditions and clear benefits, many still hesitate to help strangers for reasons like fear for personal safety. What if it's a trap? Uncertainty. Are they in trouble or just stretching? Distraction? Headphones on? Mind elsewhere? Social norms? In some places, mind your own business is the rule. And rational self-interest, small favors might snowball into bigger commitments. Yet simple moral nudges like signs asking, "What should you do?" have been shown to boost generosity by 44%, proving that small prompts can turn hesitation into action. Strangers near and far. When it comes to global crises like earthquakes or famines, donations surged from 2017 to 2023, especially during COVID, according to the World Happiness Report. But giving is not simple. Transparency and advocacy play big roles. Many donors want to know where their money goes and how much actually helps survivors. And in some cultures like many Muslim-majority societies, anonymous giving is common to avoid status seeking. So while we do owe help, what counts as good help depends on trust, communication, and cultural values. Altruism, social intelligence, and social entrepreneurship. Turns out altruism is not just about momentary kindness, it can spur innovation too. A Turkish study found that teachers with high altruistic values and social intelligence were more likely to become social entrepreneurs, founding programs that address communal problems. Helping, in other words, can scale from sweeping groceries to sweeping societal change. When helping backfires, generosity can sometimes carry risks. A study in Japan found that people who make sacrifices for future generations, even at the current generation's expense, can still be viewed positively. The reputation matters. Similarly, overbearing help can trigger negative emotions in both giver and receiver, especially if it comes off as patronizing or coercive. The key is balancing intent with impact. Vampire bats and starling friends. We are not alone in nature. Vampire bats regurgitate food for bats who failed to feed, a biological parallel to reciprocal altruism. Even starlings in Kenya form long-term friendships where they incubate each other's chicks, unrelated birds, cooperating akin to human social bonds. Nature reminds us that cooperation, often rooted in mutual benefit, forms the bedrock of social systems, biologically and culturally. So what should you do? So what can you do? Be present, take out your headphones, and stay aware. Use simple moral nudges like, "What would you do?" to boost empathy. Make it personal, direct requests like, "Can you help me call an ambulance?" Work better than vague calls for help. Respect cultural norms, don't offer gestures that may be inappropriate. And start small. A smile, a few coins, or simply listening can make a difference. So will you help the groceries guy? Help a stranger pick up their spilled groceries, and you might just pick up a bit of yourself. Happiness, connection, purpose. Isn't that a win-win? Life's moral mileage is measured in small acts. Be the person someone remembers. Because kindness is not just etiquette, it's ethics, psychology, and maybe even evolution whispering, "Do it." Plus, it's scientifically proven to make you happier. Who would not want an upgrade like that? And there you have it. Now, if I just helped you understand the wild world of altruism a little better, how about you return the favor? Smash that like and hit subscribe and drop a comment below. What's the nicest thing a stranger ever did for you? I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep being awesome and maybe help a stranger or two while you're at it. See you in the next video.